Have you ever felt like life is passing by too fast, like you are doing so much, yet still missing something deeper? Today we will discover how to live fully in the presence of God, not just to survive, but to thrive with peace, clarity, and purpose. The Holy Spirit wants to guide you, to teach you how to focus, how to grow, and how to respond to challenges with calm confidence. Every moment can become a step toward inner strength and meaningful living. Imagine living each day with clarity and joy, with emotional balance that keeps you steady through storms, with gratitude that transforms ordinary moments into something extraordinary. This is not a dream. It's possible when you learn to embrace divine presence fully. Stay with this message. Let it reshape how you see life, how you respond to challenges, and how you grow into the person you were meant to be. Today is your chance to start living fully, guided by wisdom, focus, and inner peace. The moment you ask the Holy Spirit to teach you how to live fully in God's presence, something shifts inside you. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It feels quiet, but real. Many people move through life distracted and overwhelmed. They wake up and rush into responsibilities without awareness of the deeper life within them. But when you ask for guidance, you begin a new journey, a journey of spiritual growth, daily awareness, and deeper faith. Living in divine presence does not mean escaping the world. It means becoming aware while you are in it. It means learning how to slow down your thoughts. It means choosing peace over panic. Many believers search for powerful experiences, but the real transformation starts in simple obedience. It starts in daily prayer, intentional reflection, and a heart that is open to correction. The Holy Spirit works gently, not with pressure, not with fear, but with quiet conviction. He teaches through daily life, through moments of stillness, through wisdom that rises inside your heart when you least expect it. This is how spiritual maturity develops, not overnight, but through consistent surrender. When you begin this path, you realize that living fully is not about doing more. It is about being more aware. Aware of your words, aware of your reactions, aware of your thoughts. Awareness is the doorway to transformation, and transformation leads to a life that feels grounded, steady, and guided. Many people believe that being close to God requires perfection. That is not true. Growth begins with honesty. When you admit your weakness, you open space for strength. When you admit confusion, you make room for clarity. The Holy Spirit teaches through vulnerability, not performance. In your faith journey, there will be days when you feel distant, days when your mind feels noisy, days when doubt tries to speak louder than trust. These moments are not failure. They are training. They teach endurance. They teach dependence. They teach humility. Learning to live in God's presence means learning to bring your real emotions forward. Anger, fear, questions, all of it. You do not hide them. You present them. And in that openness, healing begins. Emotional healing is part of spiritual growth. It cannot be separated. The presence of God becomes clearer when you stop pretending. Authentic faith is powerful. It builds resilience. It strengthens character. It reshapes habits. And slowly your inner world begins to reflect peace instead of chaos. Silence is one of the greatest teachers. In a loud world, silence feels uncomfortable, but silence creates clarity. When you step away from constant noise, you start hearing subtle direction. The Holy Spirit often speaks through gentle impressions, not dramatic signs. Daily prayer is not about repeating phrases. It is about connection. It is about alignment. When you sit quietly and breathe deeply, you become centered. You notice your thoughts, you observe your reactions, and awareness grows stronger. Spiritual awakening does not always look like excitement. Sometimes it looks like discipline, choosing to pause before responding, choosing to forgive instead of react, choosing patience when everything feels urgent. These small choices build strong faith. Living fully in God's presence means creating space in your schedule. It means valuing reflection more than distraction. And over time, your decisions become wiser. Your heart becomes steadier. Your confidence becomes rooted in something deeper than circumstances. Growth requires surrender. Surrender is not weakness. It is strength under control. When you release control over outcomes, you gain control over your attitude. The Holy Spirit teaches balance. Balance between effort and trust. Many people chase success, but neglect inner stability. But true fulfillment comes from alignment. When your heart, mind, and actions move in the same direction, peace follows. This is divine guidance in action. It shapes your daily life. You will notice changes in how you respond to stress. Situations that once triggered frustration begin to feel manageable. You develop patience. You become slower to anger, faster to listen. This is spiritual development happening quietly. Living in God's presence does not remove challenges. It changes how you face them. It builds resilience. It creates emotional strength. And you begin to walk through difficulty with calm confidence instead of fear. Trust grows through experience. The more you rely on divine direction, the more you recognize it. At first, it feels uncertain. You question your thoughts. You wonder if you are hearing clearly. But practice brings clarity. The Holy Spirit teaches through patterns, through repeated lessons, through correction that guides without condemnation. You start to notice that peace acts like a signal. When something disturbs that peace, you pause and reevaluate. Faith journey is not about dramatic moments. It is about consistency. Showing up daily, seeking wisdom, choosing integrity. This steady rhythm creates deep roots, and deep roots survive storms. As you continue, you begin to live with awareness, not rushed, not distracted, but attentive. You start recognizing purpose in ordinary moments, and ordinary life begins to feel meaningful, guided, and full. When you begin to seek deeper awareness, you start noticing your habits. Some habits pull you closer to peace. Others slowly drain your energy. The Holy Spirit teaches you to observe without judgment. Observation brings clarity. Clarity brings change. This is how spiritual growth becomes practical and real. You start paying attention to your words. Words carry power. They shape your atmosphere. They influence your relationships. When you speak with patience and kindness, your environment shifts. Living in God's presence often begins with controlling the tongue and guarding your thoughts. Daily reflection becomes part of your routine. Before sleep, you review your day. Where did you react too quickly? Where did you choose wisely? This simple practice strengthens emotional intelligence and deepens your faith journey. Growth becomes intentional instead of accidental. Over time, discipline replaces impulse. You respond instead of reacting. You pause instead of rushing. These small adjustments may seem minor, but they build a life rooted in wisdom, clarity, and spiritual maturity. There are moments when you feel spiritually dry. Prayers feel short. Focus feels weak. Motivation fades. This season can feel confusing, but it carries purpose. The Holy Spirit uses quiet seasons to build endurance and strengthen trust beyond emotions. You learn not to depend on feelings. Feelings change. Conviction remains. Living fully in divine presence means choosing faith even when excitement fades. Consistency builds depth. Depth builds stability. Stability creates long-term spiritual growth. During dry seasons, character is shaped. Integrity grows in hidden places. Discipline is formed when no one sees. These moments train you to seek God for who He is, not just for what He gives. This shift transforms your relationship from temporary excitement to steady commitment. When the dryness lifts, you realize something powerful happened. You became stronger, more patient, more focused. You developed a faith that is rooted in trust, not emotion. Living in awareness changes how you handle conflict. Instead of reacting quickly, you pause. You ask for wisdom. You evaluate your response. The Holy Spirit teaches emotional control through real-life situations, not theory. Conflict becomes a classroom. It reveals pride, insecurity, and hidden wounds. Instead of blaming others, you begin examining yourself. Self-reflection creates maturity. Maturity strengthens relationships. This is practical spiritual development. You learn to apologize quickly, to forgive deeply, to speak truth with gentleness. These actions may feel difficult at first, but they create peace. Peace becomes evidence of divine guidance at work within you. Over time, your presence becomes calming to others. People feel safe around you, not because you are perfect, but because you carry stability. Living fully in God's presence transforms your influence quietly and powerfully. Gratitude becomes a daily practice. Instead of focusing on what is missing, you begin recognizing what is already present. Gratitude shifts perspective. It increases joy. It reduces anxiety. This simple habit strengthens your faith journey. When you wake up and express thanks, your mindset changes. You become more hopeful, more aware of blessings. The Holy Spirit teaches you to see value in small moments, a conversation, a lesson learned, a quiet morning. Gratitude also protects your heart from comparison. Comparison steals peace. It creates unnecessary pressure. But when you focus on your path, your growth becomes personal and meaningful. You stop measuring your life against others. Living in God's presence means living with appreciation. Appreciation opens the door to contentment, and contentment builds emotional strength that cannot be shaken easily. Purpose becomes clearer when you align your daily actions with your values. Many people chase approval, but approval does not satisfy. The Holy Spirit guides you toward meaningful direction instead of empty recognition. You begin asking deeper questions. Why am I doing this? What motivates my decisions? These reflections shape your priorities. Clarity about purpose reduces confusion. It strengthens confidence. It improves focus. Divine guidance does not always reveal the full future. It reveals the next step. Learning to trust the next step builds courage. Courage builds momentum. Momentum builds progress in your spiritual growth. As purpose becomes clearer, distractions lose power. You become less influenced by trends and opinions. You walk steadily, guided by inner conviction and quiet confidence. Discipline begins to shape your mornings. The first moments after waking become intentional. Instead of reaching for noise, you choose stillness. This small decision creates a strong foundation for the entire day. The Holy Spirit trains your focus early, before distractions compete for attention. Morning reflection builds clarity. You set your mindset before challenges arrive. You align your thoughts with truth instead of fear. This daily practice strengthens emotional balance and increases spiritual awareness. Consistency turns simple routines into powerful habits. As days pass, you notice your reactions improving. Stress does not control you the same way. Your mind feels organized. Your spirit feels grounded. Living fully in God's presence starts showing in practical behavior, not just private prayer. Over time, your mornings become sacred appointments. Not dramatic, not complicated, just intentional. These quiet beginnings create confident endings, and each day feels directed instead of random. Learning to guard your thoughts becomes essential. Thoughts influence emotions. Emotions influence decisions. The Holy Spirit teaches you to examine what enters your mind. Not every idea deserves attention. Not every fear deserves space. When negative thinking appears, you pause. You replace it with truth. This mental discipline strengthens spiritual growth and builds inner resilience. You realize that peace begins in the mind before it appears in circumstances. Controlling your thought life requires awareness. It requires honesty. You cannot transform what you refuse to confront. Through daily self-examination, your inner dialogue begins to change. Encouragement replaces criticism. Hope replaces doubt. Living in divine presence means maintaining mental clarity. It means protecting your focus. And when your mind becomes stable, your entire life begins to reflect that stability. Patience becomes a powerful teacher. Waiting seasons test your trust. You may pray for direction, yet answers seem delayed. In these moments, frustration can rise. But the Holy Spirit uses waiting to refine character and strengthen endurance. Waiting teaches you that growth takes time. It teaches humility. It removes pride. Quick results may excite you, but steady development builds lasting strength. Patience becomes a foundation for maturity. During delays, you learn to improve yourself. You develop skills. You deepen faith. You prepare quietly. This preparation stage is not wasted time. It is training for future responsibility. When breakthrough finally arrives, you are ready, not rushed, not overwhelmed. You carry confidence because your foundation was built carefully, and you understand that divine timing carries wisdom. Learning to forgive transforms your inner world. Holding resentment drains energy. It blocks peace. The Holy Spirit guides you toward release, not revenge. Forgiveness is not approval of wrong actions. It is freedom from emotional chains. When you forgive, you reclaim strength. You stop replaying old pain. You stop carrying unnecessary weight. This choice strengthens mental health and deepens spiritual maturity. It allows healing to begin. Forgiveness may feel difficult at first. Pride resists it, but peace rewards it. Each act of release builds character. Each decision to let go increases clarity and stability within your heart. Living in God's presence means choosing freedom daily. Freedom from bitterness. Freedom from grudges. And in that freedom, joy slowly returns. Humility becomes visible in your behavior. You no longer seek constant recognition. You do not feel threatened by others' success. The Holy Spirit shapes your confidence in a balanced way. You know your value without demanding attention. Humility protects relationships. It reduces unnecessary conflict. It opens doors to learning. When correction comes, you listen instead of defending. This attitude accelerates spiritual growth and personal development. You begin celebrating others sincerely. Jealousy fades. Comparison loses power. You focus on improvement instead of competition. This shift creates emotional peace and stable self-worth. Living fully in divine presence reshapes ambition. Success becomes meaningful, not ego-driven. Influence becomes responsible, not controlling. And your life reflects strength with gentleness. Learning to manage your time becomes part of your spiritual discipline. Time is a gift. When you waste it, you feel unsettled. When you use it wisely, you feel fulfilled. The Holy Spirit teaches balance between rest and responsibility. This balance protects your peace and strengthens productivity. You begin planning your day with intention, not rigid, not pressured, but clear. Clear about priorities, clear about limits. This clarity reduces anxiety. It increases focus, and your daily life begins to reflect order instead of confusion. Living fully in God's presence means valuing both work and rest. Overworking drains you. Neglecting duty weakens you. Balance builds sustainable growth. Sustainable growth creates long-term stability. Over time, your schedule reflects your values. You create space for reflection. You protect time for growth. And your life becomes organized without losing freedom. Courage develops quietly. It does not always appear in dramatic actions. Sometimes courage is simply telling the truth. Sometimes it is standing firm when pressure rises. The Holy Spirit strengthens your inner resolve step by step. Fear may still appear, but fear no longer controls your decisions. You feel it, yet you move forward wisely. This is emotional maturity. This is faith in action. Growth becomes visible through steady bravery. As courage increases, confidence rises. Not loud confidence, not arrogance, but calm assurance. You trust the direction placed in your heart. You act with conviction instead of hesitation. Living in divine presence strengthens your backbone. You become steady under pressure, and others begin to respect your stability. Contentment reshapes your desires. You stop chasing what everyone else celebrates. You begin evaluating what truly matters. The Holy Spirit guides your values toward purpose instead of pressure. You learn that satisfaction does not come from constant achievement. It comes from alignment. When your actions match your convictions, you experience peace. This peace strengthens mental health and emotional clarity. Contentment does not remove ambition. It purifies it. You still aim high, but your goals reflect meaning instead of comparison. This shift protects your joy and sustains motivation. Living fully in God's presence teaches you to appreciate progress without becoming restless, and your heart begins to feel secure instead of rushed. Integrity becomes a defining trait. You choose honesty even when shortcuts appear attractive. The Holy Spirit strengthens your conscience. Small compromises lose appeal. You value consistency more than convenience. Integrity builds trust. Trust builds influence. Influence creates impact. When your words match your actions, your credibility increases naturally. This is practical spiritual leadership. You begin correcting mistakes quickly. You admit when you are wrong. This transparency builds strong character. Character creates long-term success in every area of life. Living in divine presence means walking upright privately and publicly, and that consistency becomes a source of confidence and respect. Grief and disappointment teach deep lessons. Life does not always unfold as planned. Loss can feel heavy. Expectations can break. During these moments, the Holy Spirit comforts without dramatic display. Quiet strength replaces panic. You learn resilience through hardship. Pain refines perspective. It teaches gratitude for what remains. It strengthens empathy toward others who struggle. This emotional growth deepens your faith journey. Instead of becoming bitter, you become wiser. Instead of withdrawing completely, you grow stronger inside. Hard seasons shape maturity more than easy ones ever could. Living fully in God's presence does not eliminate sorrow. It transforms how you carry it. And even in difficulty, you discover stability. Generosity begins to shape your character in quiet ways. You no longer give only when it feels convenient. You give because it reflects who you are becoming. The Holy Spirit teaches you that generosity is not limited to money. It includes time, attention, encouragement, and patience. When you give sincerely, something shifts inside you. Selfish thinking weakens. Gratitude increases. You realize that helping others strengthens your own sense of purpose. This mindset builds emotional richness and deepens spiritual growth. Generosity also protects your heart from greed. It reminds you that life is more than accumulation. It is about contribution. Contribution creates meaning. Meaning strengthens identity. Living fully in God's presence develops a generous spirit. And that generosity quietly transforms both you and those around you. Self-control becomes a powerful foundation. Impulse loses authority over your decisions. The Holy Spirit trains you to pause before acting. That pause creates wisdom. Wisdom protects your future. You begin recognizing triggers that once controlled you. Anger, impatience, overreaction. Instead of surrendering to them, you breathe and evaluate. This discipline strengthens mental clarity and emotional maturity. Self-control improves relationships. It builds respect. It reduces regret. You no longer speak words you must later repair. You respond thoughtfully instead of emotionally. Living in divine presence strengthens restraint without suppressing personality. You remain authentic, but guided, and that guidance keeps your life steady. Confidence grows from identity, not achievement. The Holy Spirit teaches you that your value does not rise or fall with success. This realization removes pressure. It frees you from constant proving. You stop seeking validation in every conversation. You stop adjusting yourself to gain approval. Instead, you stand firm in quiet assurance. This inner security strengthens leadership and personal growth. As confidence deepens, insecurity weakens. You celebrate progress without pride. You accept limitations without shame. This balance creates emotional stability. Living fully in God's presence anchors your identity in truth, and that truth gives you strength that circumstances cannot steal. Wisdom develops through listening. You learn to listen carefully to advice, to correction, to subtle guidance within your conscience. The Holy Spirit often leads through insight rather than loud direction. Listening improves discernment. You begin recognizing what aligns with your values and what does not. Discernment protects your decisions and strengthens your faith journey. When you listen more than you speak, your understanding increases. Conversations become meaningful. Relationships deepen. Influence grows naturally. Living in divine presence sharpens your perception, and clear perception leads to wise action. Resilience becomes visible in your attitude. Challenges still arrive, but they do not break you. The Holy Spirit builds endurance through repeated tests. Each difficulty becomes training instead of defeat. You learn to adapt. You adjust without losing hope. This flexibility strengthens your character and increases confidence. Emotional strength becomes part of your identity. Resilience also inspires others. They notice your calm during pressure. They see your steady responses. Your growth becomes evidence of inner transformation. Living fully in God's presence does not remove storms. It builds a foundation strong enough to stand through them. Vision begins to expand as your inner life becomes clearer. You no longer drift without direction. The Holy Spirit sharpens your focus and helps you see long-term impact instead of short-term excitement. This clarity strengthens decision-making and supports consistent spiritual growth. You start setting meaningful goals, not goals driven by comparison, but goals shaped by purpose. Each step feels intentional. Each action feels connected to something larger than temporary success. This alignment increases motivation and reduces confusion. When distractions appear, you recognize them quickly. You evaluate opportunities carefully. You choose progress over impulse. This discipline creates steady advancement in both personal development and faith journey. Living fully in God's presence transforms your vision. You stop chasing noise. You begin building legacy, and your future starts to feel structured instead of uncertain. Peace becomes your internal anchor. Circumstances still change. People still disappoint. Plans still shift. Yet something inside remains steady. The Holy Spirit builds this stability slowly through daily trust and quiet confidence. You begin responding to pressure with calm reasoning. Instead of escalating problems, you de-escalate them. This emotional regulation strengthens relationships and increases leadership capacity. Peace also improves physical well-being. Stress decreases. Sleep improves. Clarity increases. When your mind rests, your body follows. This balance reflects healthy spiritual development. Living in divine presence produces a peace that is practical. It shows in your voice. It shows in your posture. It shows in how you carry yourself daily. Responsibility becomes a natural expression of maturity. You stop blaming circumstances for every outcome. The Holy Spirit teaches accountability. Growth begins when excuses end. You evaluate your choices honestly. You admit when effort was lacking. You improve without self-condemnation. This balanced reflection strengthens character and builds self-respect. Taking responsibility increases confidence. You realize that change is possible because action is possible. This understanding fuels progress in your faith journey and personal development. Living fully in God's presence means owning your decisions, and ownership creates power to improve your future. Gratitude deepens into joy. At first you practice thankfulness intentionally. Now it feels natural. Joy begins to rise even in simple routines. The Holy Spirit reshapes your outlook until appreciation becomes automatic. You notice beauty in ordinary moments, a meaningful conversation, a lesson learned, a quiet evening. This awareness strengthens emotional health and reinforces inner peace. Joy also increases resilience. When challenges appear, gratitude balances perspective. You see both difficulty and opportunity at the same time. This balanced view strengthens maturity. Living in divine presence cultivates joy that does not depend on perfection. It grows from awareness and alignment. Influence develops without striving. You no longer try to impress. You simply live with integrity. The Holy Spirit shapes your character quietly, and others begin noticing consistency. People seek your advice because you remain stable. They trust your perspective because you speak thoughtfully. This influence is not loud. It is steady. It reflects spiritual maturity and personal growth. As influence grows, humility remains. You remember where you started. You continue learning. This balance protects you from pride while expanding impact. Living fully in God's presence transforms you into a quiet leader, not through force, but through example. Clarity about boundaries becomes essential as you grow. You realize that not every request deserves your agreement. The Holy Spirit teaches discernment in relationships and commitments. Healthy limits protect your energy and preserve emotional strength. You begin saying no without guilt, not harshly, not selfishly, but wisely. This shift improves mental health and strengthens focus. When you protect your time and values, your productivity increases. Boundaries also reduce resentment. When expectations are clear, frustration decreases. Communication becomes honest. Relationships become healthier and more respectful. Living fully in God's presence includes guarding your inner world, and strong boundaries create space for peace and purpose to thrive. Consistency becomes more important than excitement. You no longer depend on sudden motivation. The Holy Spirit develops steady discipline. Daily habits replace emotional swings. This reliability strengthens your faith journey. You show up even when you do not feel inspired. You continue learning. You continue growing. This pattern builds depth that temporary passion cannot produce. Over time, consistency builds confidence. You trust yourself more. You see progress clearly. Small improvements compound into major transformation. Living in divine presence is not about dramatic moments. It is about faithful repetition, and repetition shapes strong character. Gracious speech becomes part of your identity. You choose words carefully. You avoid unnecessary criticism. The Holy Spirit refines how you communicate. This refinement strengthens influence and protects relationships. You learn that tone carries weight. Delivery matters as much as content. Speaking truth with kindness increases understanding. It reduces conflict and builds trust. As your communication improves, misunderstandings decrease. You listen attentively. You respond thoughtfully. Conversations become constructive rather than reactive. Living fully in God's presence transforms how you speak, and improved speech transforms the quality of your connections. Hope begins to anchor your future. Instead of expecting worst-case outcomes, you anticipate growth. The Holy Spirit strengthens optimism grounded in wisdom, not denial. This balanced hope increases resilience. When setbacks occur, you adjust rather than collapse. You view challenges as opportunities for learning. This perspective fuels long-term spiritual growth and emotional strength. Hope also motivates preparation. You plan wisely because you believe progress is possible. This belief creates action. Action produces measurable improvement. Living in divine presence fills your outlook with steady expectation, and steady expectation moves you forward. Gratitude for correction becomes part of maturity. Feedback no longer feels like attack. The Holy Spirit teaches humility through constructive advice. This openness accelerates growth. Instead of resisting, you reflect. Instead of defending immediately, you evaluate calmly. This approach strengthens leadership and personal development. Correction shapes excellence. It sharpens skill. It improves character. Accepting guidance increases long-term success. Living fully in God's presence means welcoming refinement, and refinement produces lasting strength. Faith begins to deepen in practical ways. It is no longer abstract. The Holy Spirit shows you how belief impacts daily choices. Decisions become guided by insight rather than habit. This awareness strengthens confidence and emotional stability. You start trusting in small matters first. Everyday tasks become exercises in obedience and mindfulness. Over time, larger challenges feel manageable because your foundation is built through consistent faith. You notice a quiet peace in doing what is right even when results are delayed. Faith also builds patience. You learn to wait without anxiety, knowing that timing is part of growth. You rely on discernment instead of impulse. This creates a steady rhythm in life that fosters maturity and resilience. Living fully in God's presence transforms your trust into action. What once felt uncertain now feels navigable. You move through life with a quiet assurance that strengthens both you and those around you. Humility deepens as you progress. You begin to recognize your limitations without shame. The Holy Spirit teaches that strength is not measured by dominance, but by self-awareness and restraint. This perspective fosters emotional balance. You stop seeking constant validation. Praise no longer defines your value. Instead, your worth is anchored in consistent integrity and purposeful action. This subtle shift strengthens your influence and builds credibility naturally. Humility also improves relationships. You become more approachable. You listen more than you speak. Others respond positively to your calm confidence and willingness to learn. This creates an environment of respect and trust. Living in divine presence teaches the power of quiet growth. Influence comes not from force, but from authentic, steady character that inspires trust. Reflection becomes a daily discipline. You take time to assess thoughts, actions, and intentions. The Holy Spirit guides you toward clarity and alignment. Reflection transforms ordinary experiences into lessons that shape maturity. You notice patterns in behavior. Positive actions are reinforced. Negative habits are corrected gently but consistently. Awareness increases your ability to make wise decisions in real time. Reflection also fosters gratitude. By evaluating both successes and challenges, you appreciate progress while learning from setbacks. This dual awareness strengthens emotional intelligence. Living fully in God's presence turns reflection into a tool for growth. Life becomes intentional, mistakes become lessons, and personal evolution accelerates naturally. Resilience strengthens through repeated challenges. Obstacles no longer overwhelm you. The Holy Spirit teaches that endurance is built through perseverance and practical learning. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to grow. You learn to adapt without losing composure. Situations that once caused anxiety now offer insight. This strengthens confidence and self-reliance. Emotional stability improves with each trial. Resilience also shapes perspective. Difficult experiences are reframed as lessons. Growth becomes visible in how calmly you respond to pressure. This transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Living in divine presence equips you to navigate challenges wisely. Strength grows silently within, creating long-term stability and peace. Gratitude becomes foundational to daily life. You recognize blessings in small moments. Appreciation expands beyond material things into relationships, growth, and simple experiences. The Holy Spirit cultivates awareness of abundance rather than scarcity. Daily gratitude reshapes perspective. Instead of focusing on what is lacking, you notice what is present. This shifts mindset toward hope and contentment. Emotional stress decreases naturally. Gratitude strengthens resilience. When difficulties arise, you retain perspective. Optimism does not depend on circumstances, but on acknowledgement of what has already been provided. Living fully in God's presence allows gratitude to flow effortlessly. It becomes a lens for seeing life with clarity, joy, and balance. Boundaries become essential for preserving peace. You learn to protect your energy without guilt. The Holy Spirit guides discernment in commitments, relationships, and personal space. Boundaries increase focus and reduce unnecessary conflict. You begin saying no thoughtfully, not harshly, but decisively. This protects time for reflection, growth, and meaningful interaction. Your life becomes organized around purpose rather than urgency. Boundaries also improve relationships. Clear limits foster respect. Communication becomes honest and straightforward. Emotional strain diminishes, creating healthier connections. Living fully in divine presence means valuing both inner peace and external responsibility. Strong boundaries allow space for growth, awareness, and purposeful living. Self-discipline strengthens your daily life. You begin noticing small impulses that once controlled your choices. The Holy Spirit teaches patience and restraint, guiding your decisions toward wisdom instead of reaction. Over time, habits transform into intentional practices. You start prioritizing tasks that align with purpose. You avoid distractions that drain energy. This focused approach improves productivity and nurtures emotional stability. Each choice reinforces consistency and builds momentum toward meaningful growth. Self-discipline also shapes character. You develop reliability, dependability, and integrity. Others begin noticing your steadiness, and trust in your judgment increases naturally. This builds influence quietly but powerfully. Living fully in God's presence allows discipline to feel natural, not forced. Your life flows with intention, and actions align with values, creating steady progress and lasting strength. Patience becomes a quiet teacher. You learn to wait without frustration. The Holy Spirit strengthens your ability to endure delays, challenges, and misunderstandings. Waiting becomes an opportunity for growth rather than a source of anxiety. You notice that immediate results are not always necessary. Consistent effort and steady practice bring deeper, long-lasting transformation. This perspective fosters emotional balance and resilience. Patience also improves relationships. You respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Conflicts are approached calmly. Misunderstandings are navigated with wisdom rather than tension. Living fully in divine presence means viewing time as a tool for growth. You learn that steady progress outlasts rushed or impulsive decisions, creating a life marked by stability and depth. Integrity guides every decision. You learn to act consistently with your values, even when no one is watching. The Holy Spirit strengthens moral clarity, helping you avoid shortcuts that compromise character. Honest actions build trust. People notice reliability and consistency. Influence grows naturally when others see that your words and actions align. This strengthens both personal and spiritual development. Integrity also protects from regret. You make choices with awareness and accountability. Mistakes become learning opportunities rather than sources of shame. This builds confidence and emotional maturity. Living fully in God's presence anchors your life in truth. Consistent integrity fosters lasting respect, stability, and inner peace. Compassion becomes an everyday practice. You notice the needs of others more clearly. The Holy Spirit softens your heart, enabling you to respond with patience, understanding, and kindness. Compassion strengthens connections and emotional depth. You start small, offering support in everyday situations, encouraging words, listening carefully, simple acts of help. These choices ripple outward, creating meaningful impact in personal and professional relationships. Compassion also builds empathy. You see life through multiple perspectives. Judgment decreases. Tolerance increases. This emotional growth deepens maturity and strengthens resilience. Living fully in divine presence transforms interactions into meaningful experiences. Your influence becomes quiet, yet profound, shaped by empathy and integrity. Focus becomes essential. You learn to direct attention to priorities instead of distractions. The Holy Spirit guides mental clarity, helping you discern what matters most. This focused approach strengthens productivity and emotional stability. You develop routines that support consistent growth. Daily habits align with purpose rather than impulsive desires. Focus reduces stress, increases efficiency, and reinforces inner peace. Focus also shapes decision-making. You choose actions that reflect long-term goals instead of short-term gratification. This strategic approach nurtures both personal and spiritual development. Living fully in God's presence allows focus to feel natural. Distractions fade and clarity increases. Life becomes intentional, steady, and purpose-driven. Gratitude expands into a transformative practice. You begin noticing hidden blessings and appreciating ordinary moments. The Holy Spirit guides awareness, helping you shift perspective from lack to abundance. Daily reflection on gratitude reshapes your mindset. You experience joy in simplicity, resilience in challenges, and contentment in progress. Emotional stress diminishes naturally. Gratitude also improves relationships. Appreciation fosters kindness, patience, and mutual respect. Your outlook influences others positively, creating a ripple effect of stability and growth. Living fully in divine presence integrates gratitude seamlessly. Life feels richer, clearer, and more meaningful as joy and awareness deepen continuously. Self-awareness becomes a cornerstone of your daily life. You begin noticing thoughts, emotions, and reactions with honesty. The Holy Spirit gently guides this awareness, helping you recognize patterns that either strengthen or weaken your inner peace. Over time, self-observation transforms impulsive behavior into deliberate action. You start identifying triggers that previously caused frustration or distraction. By observing without judgment, you create space for intentional responses. This practice improves emotional regulation and nurtures spiritual growth. Awareness turns challenges into opportunities for refinement. Self-awareness also enhances relationships. By understanding your tendencies, you interact more thoughtfully. Communication becomes clearer, conflicts decrease, and empathy grows naturally. This emotional intelligence strengthens both personal and professional life. Living fully in God's presence allows self-awareness to guide daily decisions. Your life begins to reflect clarity, stability, and inner confidence that inspires trust and respect. Discernment strengthens over time. You learn to evaluate choices carefully before acting. The Holy Spirit teaches subtle guidance, helping you differentiate what aligns with purpose from what leads to distraction. This careful evaluation protects your growth and peace. You begin noticing patterns and opportunities, advice, and challenges. Recognizing what is beneficial and what is detrimental becomes intuitive. Decision-making becomes strategic rather than reactive, which reduces mistakes and fosters consistency. Discernment also protects relationships. You learn when to engage and when to step back, preventing unnecessary conflicts. This balance increases respect and strengthens bonds over time. Living fully in divine presence sharpens judgment without arrogance. You act with clarity and confidence, ensuring that every choice aligns with long-term growth and meaningful impact. Perseverance emerges as a natural habit. Challenges continue to arise, but you no longer view them as obstacles to avoid. The Holy Spirit nurtures steady determination, allowing you to move forward even when results seem distant or unclear. You develop routines that sustain consistent effort. Each small step compounds into meaningful progress. Setbacks are reframed as lessons, not failures. This mindset transforms difficulties into opportunities for long-term improvement. Perseverance strengthens resilience. Emotional stability increases as you realize that consistent effort produces results over time. Patience and endurance become integral parts of character. Living fully in God's presence reinforces perseverance. You remain steady under pressure, focused on progress rather than immediate validation, cultivating lasting strength and confidence. Joy becomes increasingly internalized. You no longer depend on external circumstances for happiness. The Holy Spirit encourages appreciation of small moments, fostering a mindset that thrives on positivity, gratitude, and hope. You notice beauty in everyday experiences, quiet mornings, thoughtful conversations, and small victories. This awareness increases contentment, reduces stress, and enhances emotional well-being. Joy also strengthens resilience. When challenges arise, a joyful mindset balances perspective, enabling constructive responses rather than reactive behaviors. This stability nurtures spiritual and personal development simultaneously. Living fully in divine presence embeds joy naturally in your life. Your outlook becomes optimistic, balanced, and consistent, shaping your behavior and interactions positively. Patience continues to develop as a central practice. You learn to wait thoughtfully, resisting the urge for instant results. The Holy Spirit nurtures understanding that growth, clarity, and breakthrough require time, and that timing often carries hidden wisdom. Waiting becomes a learning process rather than frustration. You observe situations carefully, reflecting before responding. This creates emotional balance and enhances decision-making. Patience also improves social interactions. Conflicts are navigated calmly, misunderstandings are clarified gently, and relationships become more harmonious. Emotional control becomes evident in how you handle challenges. Living fully in God's presence teaches that waiting is productive. Time becomes an ally, allowing growth, clarity, and steady progress to take root naturally. Resilience grows stronger with each challenge. Difficulties no longer intimidate you. Instead, they train endurance and reveal inner strength. The Holy Spirit uses trials to build character, stability, and wisdom. You learn to recover quickly from setbacks, adapting without losing hope or focus. Each challenge enhances your confidence, emotional control, and decision-making. Resilience becomes an internal resource that sustains consistent growth. Resilience also inspires those around you. Your steady responses demonstrate the strength that comes from inner alignment. Others observe how calm confidence navigates adversity. Living fully in divine presence strengthens your foundation. Challenges refine but never break you. Each experience reinforces maturity, emotional stability, and long-term progress. Wisdom begins to shape everyday decisions. You notice that choices guided by clarity and discernment produce better results than impulsive reactions. The Holy Spirit teaches practical insight, helping you weigh consequences before acting, which strengthens both personal and spiritual growth. You develop a habit of reflecting before responding. Small decisions, how you speak, how you act, how you manage time, become deliberate and intentional. This intentionality compounds over time, creating consistent improvement and a strong foundation for success. Wisdom also strengthens relationships. Thoughtful actions and measured responses reduce conflict and foster trust. Others notice your steady judgment and your influence grows quietly yet powerfully. Living fully in God's presence allows wisdom to guide your life naturally. Daily choices align with long-term goals, creating peace, stability, and purposeful growth. Emotional balance becomes increasingly important. You notice that moods fluctuate, but you can manage responses more effectively. The Holy Spirit teaches awareness and regulation of emotions, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. You begin observing triggers that previously caused overreaction or distress. By acknowledging them without judgment, you reduce their power. This self-control builds resilience, strengthens decision-making, and enhances personal growth. Emotional balance also improves interactions. Calmness fosters respect and understanding, reducing unnecessary tension in relationships. Stability becomes noticeable to others and strengthens your influence. Living fully in divine presence nurtures a steady emotional foundation. Peace guides your responses, your relationships, and your daily experiences, creating clarity and confidence. Gratitude evolves into a transformative lifestyle. You notice blessings in the small details, meaningful conversations, lessons learned, and simple joys. The Holy Spirit develops awareness, shifting focus from lack to abundance, which enhances emotional and spiritual well-being. Daily reflection on gratitude reshapes mindset. Stress diminishes naturally. Optimism increases. Life feels fuller and more purposeful, as ordinary moments gain extraordinary significance. Gratitude strengthens resilience. When challenges arise, you retain perspective. Appreciation allows you to navigate difficulties with hope, reinforcing personal growth and emotional stability. Living fully in God's presence integrates gratitude seamlessly. Joy, peace, and clarity naturally flow, shaping a life that inspires both yourself and those around you. Focus sharpens as distractions fade. You begin prioritizing meaningful actions over fleeting impulses. The Holy Spirit teaches discernment, enabling mental clarity and purposeful engagement with daily responsibilities. You create routines that support consistent progress. Habits align with personal and spiritual goals. This structured focus reduces wasted energy, improves efficiency, and strengthens emotional well-being. Focus also enhances decision-making. Clear priorities allow strategic responses rather than reactionary behaviors. Your influence increases as you navigate challenges thoughtfully and intentionally. Living fully in divine presence ensures that attention is directed toward what matters most. Clarity and purpose replace chaos, creating a life of steady progress and meaningful impact. Resilience deepens as you encounter challenges repeatedly. Adversity no longer intimidates, but teaches endurance. The Holy Spirit uses difficulties to refine strength, develop wisdom, and cultivate emotional stability. You learn to recover quickly and adapt effectively. Setbacks become lessons rather than obstacles. Confidence grows with each challenge, and inner stability strengthens your ability to navigate future pressures. Resilience inspires others through your calm, measured responses. Observers notice how composure and wisdom guide your actions, fostering respect and trust naturally. Living fully in God's presence allows challenges to strengthen rather than weaken you. Each experience reinforces maturity, stability, and long-term growth. Discipline becomes a natural part of daily life. You notice that repeated small actions shape long-term outcomes. The Holy Spirit teaches consistency, helping you follow through on commitments, even when motivation fluctuates. This steady practice builds reliability and personal strength. You begin structuring your day intentionally. Time is allocated for priorities, reflection, and purposeful activity. Avoiding distractions strengthens focus and emotional balance, ensuring that your efforts yield measurable growth. Discipline also improves character. Consistent actions reinforce integrity, reliability, and inner confidence. Others notice your steadiness, and trust in your judgment grows naturally over time. Living fully in God's presence allows discipline to feel organic rather than forced. Your life reflects intentionality, consistency, and steady progress, producing long-term personal and spiritual growth. Patience deepens. As a guiding principle, you no longer demand instant results or immediate validation. The Holy Spirit teaches endurance, showing that waiting can refine character, clarify purpose, and build strength in quiet, unseen ways. You approach challenges with thoughtful observation instead of frustration. Delays and setbacks become opportunities to learn and adapt, fostering emotional resilience and wisdom. Patience also strengthens relationships. Calm, measured responses reduce conflict and encourage understanding. People respect your ability to handle pressure without overreacting, which increases influence and trust. Living fully in divine presence teaches that timing is essential. Steady perseverance produces growth that impulsive action cannot, creating confidence, clarity, and lasting stability. Clarity emerges through consistent reflection. You begin reviewing decisions, behaviors, and thoughts regularly. The Holy Spirit nurtures awareness, allowing you to discern patterns, correct mistakes, and reinforce effective habits. Reflection deepens self-understanding. You identify tendencies that support growth and address those that hinder progress. This intentional evaluation enhances both personal and spiritual development. Clarity also strengthens communication. You articulate thoughts more effectively, resolve misunderstandings, and navigate challenges with confidence and calm. This improves influence and relationships naturally. Living fully in God's presence turns reflection into a tool for transformation. Each experience becomes a lesson, guiding actions, and reinforcing stability, focus, and personal growth. Gratitude becomes an internalized practice. You notice blessings in ordinary moments, appreciating simple interactions, personal growth, and lessons learned. The Holy Spirit cultivates awareness, helping you shift perspective from lack to abundance. Daily gratitude reshapes mindset. Joy increases, stress decreases, and optimism strengthens. Life feels fuller, richer, and more meaningful as small moments take on deeper significance. Gratitude enhances resilience. Challenges become manageable because appreciation balances perspective. Hope and positivity remain steady, guiding actions and maintaining emotional stability. Living fully in divine presence integrates gratitude into daily life. Joy, peace, and clarity flow naturally, shaping a consistent, intentional, and fulfilling life experience. Focus strengthens as distractions diminish. Attention shifts to meaningful priorities. The Holy Spirit teaches discernment, enabling clarity and consistent engagement with actions that support growth and purpose. You develop habits that reinforce long-term goals. Structured routines reduce wasted energy and improve efficiency. Emotional balance strengthens as your attention aligns with intention rather than impulse. Focus enhances decision-making. You act strategically rather than reactively. Your influence expands as thoughtful actions replace impulsive behavior, creating consistent progress in personal and spiritual development. Living fully in God's presence ensures your attention remains purposeful. Clarity, intention, and steady progress replace chaos, producing a life marked by meaningful growth and calm confidence. Resilience becomes increasingly evident in how you handle challenges. Difficulties no longer intimidate. Instead, they serve as training grounds. The Holy Spirit strengthens endurance, helping you face adversity with calm confidence and steady determination. You learn to recover quickly from setbacks. Each obstacle becomes a lesson rather than a defeat. Adaptation improves, and your inner stability strengthens with every challenge. This cultivates long-term emotional and personal growth. Resilience also inspires others. Observers notice your composed responses to pressure, your ability to remain steady, and your thoughtful decision-making. Quiet strength attracts respect and fosters trust naturally. Living fully in God's presence allows challenges to refine rather than overwhelm you. Each experience reinforces maturity, emotional stability, and consistent personal development. Wisdom guides daily actions. You notice that choices made with discernment produce better outcomes than impulsive reactions. The Holy Spirit nurtures practical insight, helping you weigh consequences and align decisions with purpose. Small, consistent reflections reinforce understanding. You observe what works, correct mistakes, and reinforce positive patterns. This disciplined approach ensures continual improvement in both personal and spiritual life. Wisdom also strengthens relationships. Thoughtful decisions reduce misunderstandings, enhance communication, and increase trust. People naturally respect and follow those who act with clarity and insight. Living fully in divine presence ensures decisions are informed by understanding and purpose. Life becomes intentional, growth-focused, and stable, with consistent alignment between action and principle. Emotional balance becomes a core strength. You notice moods shift, but you can manage responses more effectively. The Holy Spirit nurtures awareness and regulation, enabling measured reactions instead of impulsive behavior. You identify triggers that once caused overreaction or distress. Awareness allows you to respond intentionally rather than react instinctively. This improves relationships, mental clarity, and overall stability. Balanced emotions foster resilience. Challenges are approached with calm reasoning, not panic. Interactions become thoughtful, reducing conflict and promoting understanding, which strengthens both personal and spiritual growth. Living fully in God's presence produces emotional equilibrium. Calmness and clarity guide responses, interactions, and decision-making, creating steady personal and relational growth. Gratitude evolves into a lifestyle. You notice blessings in everyday experiences, meaningful conversations, small victories, and personal growth. The Holy Spirit fosters awareness, helping you shift focus from lack to abundance. Practicing gratitude daily reshapes your mindset. Optimism grows, stress diminishes, and life feels fuller and more meaningful. Even ordinary moments carry extraordinary value, strengthening emotional resilience. Gratitude also improves relationships. Appreciation fosters kindness, patience, and understanding. Your perspective influences others positively, creating a ripple effect of calm, trust, and steady growth. Living fully in divine presence integrates gratitude naturally. Joy, clarity, and peace become consistent elements of daily life, guiding decisions and interactions with stability and purpose. Focus sharpens as distractions fade. You prioritize meaningful tasks over fleeting impulses. The Holy Spirit teaches discernment, enabling attention to align with purpose and long-term goals. Structured routines reinforce progress. Habits support consistent growth, reduce wasted energy, and improve emotional regulation. Focus allows action to become deliberate and aligned with personal values. Focus also enhances problem-solving and decision-making. You act with strategy instead of reacting impulsively. This improves efficiency, nurtures stability, and strengthens influence in relationships and responsibilities. Living fully in God's presence ensures clarity, intention, and meaningful progress. Life becomes purposeful, steady, and growth-oriented, guided by disciplined focus, and thoughtful action. Perseverance becomes a defining trait. You encounter obstacles, yet they no longer discourage you. The Holy Spirit builds steady determination, allowing you to move forward, even when results seem distant or uncertain. You develop consistent habits that support long-term progress. Each effort compounds over time, turning small steps into meaningful achievements. Setbacks become lessons instead of failures, reinforcing resilience and emotional maturity. Perseverance strengthens confidence. You begin trusting the process, knowing steady effort produces results. Challenges become opportunities to refine skill, patience, and wisdom. Living fully in God's presence embeds perseverance naturally. You remain steadfast under pressure, moving forward with calm assurance and purpose, building enduring personal and spiritual growth. Clarity becomes increasingly essential. You notice patterns in thoughts, behaviors, and opportunities. The Holy Spirit guides understanding, helping you discern what aligns with purpose and what detracts from growth. You take time to reflect on decisions and outcomes. Reflection strengthens insight, enabling better judgment and improved responses. This awareness enhances productivity, emotional intelligence, and relational harmony. Clarity also protects against confusion and poor choices. Decisions become intentional, relationships become balanced, and actions align with long-term goals. This stability fosters both personal and spiritual development. Living fully in divine presence allows insight to guide your life naturally. Understanding replaces uncertainty, and thoughtful actions produce consistent, purposeful progress. Gratitude grows into a transformative daily practice. You begin noticing blessings in ordinary experiences, from simple joys to personal achievements. The Holy Spirit nurtures awareness, fostering contentment and emotional well-being. Daily gratitude reshapes mindset. Optimism rises, stress decreases, and life feels more meaningful. Ordinary moments take on greater significance, enhancing resilience and satisfaction. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. Appreciation fosters patience, understanding, and mutual respect. Your perspective influences others positively, creating a ripple effect of harmony and growth. Living fully in God's presence integrates gratitude into every aspect of life. Joy, clarity, and peace flow naturally, guiding behavior and decisions with balance and purpose. Emotional balance becomes a central strength. You notice emotions fluctuate, but you manage responses effectively. The Holy Spirit teaches regulation, enabling calm, thoughtful reactions rather than impulsive ones. You observe triggers that previously caused stress or overreaction. Awareness allows intentional responses, strengthening resilience and emotional maturity. Balance improves interactions and deepens trust in relationships. Emotional stability enhances decision-making. Challenges are approached calmly, conflicts are resolved thoughtfully, and personal growth accelerates. This measured approach reduces tension and fosters clarity. Living fully in divine presence ensures steady emotions guide behavior. Calm, balanced responses create stability, trust, and consistent progress in both personal and spiritual life. Focus becomes increasingly sharp. You prioritize meaningful tasks over distractions. The Holy Spirit teaches discernment, allowing attention to align with purpose and long-term objectives. You structure routines that reinforce growth and consistency. Habits reduce wasted energy, enhance productivity, and support emotional and spiritual stability. Focus transforms effort into intentional, results-driven action. Enhanced focus strengthens problem-solving and decision-making. You respond strategically rather than react impulsively. Efficiency, influence, and progress increase as a result of directed attention. Living fully in God's presence ensures clarity and intentional action. Life becomes steady, purposeful, and growth-oriented, guided by disciplined focus and deliberate effort. Discipline solidifies as a natural rhythm in your life. Small, consistent actions accumulate, producing lasting impact. The Holy Spirit guides you to maintain habits that support growth, balance, and long-term stability. You begin structuring your days intentionally, focusing on meaningful priorities while minimizing distractions. Each deliberate action reinforces reliability, self-control, and confidence. Over time, these habits shape character and foster personal and spiritual development. Discipline also strengthens resilience. Challenges are met with steady effort rather than frustration. Momentum builds as consistent practice produces measurable progress, enhancing emotional and mental stability. Living fully in God's presence makes discipline feel effortless. Your life reflects intentionality, focus, and consistency, creating a foundation for continual growth and lasting impact. Patience deepens as a guiding principle. You learn to wait without frustration or anxiety. The Holy Spirit nurtures endurance, showing that timing often carries wisdom and that growth requires consistent effort and calm observation. You approach challenges and delays with thoughtful assessment instead of immediate reaction. Waiting becomes a productive process, allowing insight and preparation to develop naturally. This strengthens emotional resilience and decision-making. Patience also improves relationships. Calm responses reduce conflict, encourage understanding, and foster trust. People notice your ability to manage pressure gracefully, increasing respect and influence. Living fully in divine presence teaches that waiting is not passive. Time becomes a tool for reflection, refinement, and steady progress, creating long-term stability and growth. Resilience becomes increasingly visible. Obstacles no longer intimidate. They train endurance, insight, and wisdom. The Holy Spirit strengthens you quietly, making challenges opportunities for growth rather than sources of discouragement. You recover quickly from setbacks. Adaptation becomes intuitive. Emotional control strengthens as repeated trials reinforce confidence and stability. Each challenge deepens your ability to handle future pressures with composure. Resilience also inspires others. Your calm, measured approach demonstrates inner strength. People naturally respect steadiness and thoughtful responses to adversity, fostering trust and influence. Living fully in God's presence allows challenges to refine rather than overwhelm you. Strength, stability, and maturity develop silently but powerfully over time. Wisdom guides choices more clearly. You notice that thoughtful decisions produce better outcomes than impulsive actions. The Holy Spirit teaches discernment, helping you weigh consequences and align actions with long-term goals. Reflection becomes routine. You evaluate experiences, identify effective strategies, and adjust behaviors accordingly. This careful assessment improves judgment, decision-making, and personal growth. Wisdom also enhances relationships. Measured responses, honest communication, and thoughtful action build trust. Others recognize reliability and integrity, amplifying influence and respect naturally. Living fully in divine presence ensures decisions are guided by insight. Clarity replaces confusion, and intentional action fosters consistent progress and meaningful growth. Gratitude becomes an ingrained lifestyle. You notice blessings in ordinary experiences, appreciating lessons, growth, and everyday joys. The Holy Spirit cultivates awareness, shifting focus from scarcity to abundance and improving emotional resilience. Daily gratitude reshapes mindset. Optimism increases, stress decreases, and life feels richer. Ordinary moments gain depth and significance, strengthening both personal and spiritual well-being. Gratitude enhances social interactions. Appreciation fosters patience, understanding, and mutual respect. Your perspective positively influences others, creating a ripple effect of harmony and growth. Living fully in God's presence integrates gratitude seamlessly. Joy, clarity, and peace flow naturally, guiding decisions and actions with purpose and intentionality. Emotional stability strengthens further. You notice feelings arise but no longer control your actions. The Holy Spirit nurtures calm awareness, allowing measured responses and thoughtful interaction. Emotional intelligence becomes a defining trait, improving decisions, relationships, and personal growth. You begin to recognize patterns in your reactions. Triggers that once caused frustration or impulsivity are now observed with clarity. Awareness allows you to respond intentionally, fostering resilience, patience, and maturity. Balanced emotions support problem solving. Challenges are addressed calmly, conflicts are navigated wisely, and decision-making becomes consistent. Emotional stability builds trust and influence naturally, creating strong personal and professional relationships. Living fully in God's presence ensures that emotional clarity guides life. Peace replaces reaction, stability strengthens daily actions, and inner calm becomes a foundation for continual growth. Focus becomes sharper than ever. You prioritize actions aligned with purpose rather than distractions. The Holy Spirit teaches discernment, helping you maintain attention on meaningful growth and long-term goals. Routines are structured intentionally, reinforcing consistent progress. Energy is allocated to priorities, minimizing wasted effort. Focus transforms effort into results, strengthening both personal and spiritual development. Clarity of attention also improves decision-making. Strategic responses replace impulsive actions, efficiency increases, and influence expands through thoughtful, deliberate behavior. Living fully in God's presence ensures sustained focus. Life flows with intention, clarity, and purpose, producing consistent advancement toward meaningful goals. Perseverance solidifies into a daily practice. Obstacles arise, but they no longer derail your progress. The Holy Spirit builds quiet determination, allowing you to move forward with patience and confidence, even when outcomes are delayed. You develop steady habits that support long-term growth. Small, consistent actions accumulate into substantial progress. Setbacks are reframed as lessons rather than failures, reinforcing resilience and emotional maturity. Perseverance strengthens self-trust. Confidence grows as steady effort proves that progress is possible. Challenges are embraced as opportunities to refine skill, patience, and wisdom. Living fully in God's presence embeds perseverance naturally. Steadiness under pressure creates long-term stability, growth, and meaningful achievement. Gratitude and joy expand together. You notice blessings in ordinary moments, and appreciation becomes a natural lens for daily life. The Holy Spirit nurtures this awareness, strengthening resilience, positivity, and emotional well-being. Daily reflection on gratitude reshapes perspective. Joy arises from simple experiences, stress decreases, and optimism strengthens. Ordinary moments carry extraordinary meaning, fostering both personal and spiritual growth. Gratitude enhances relationships. Kindness, patience, and understanding flourish, creating harmony and trust. Your influence expands naturally as others notice consistent joy and appreciation. Living fully in divine presence integrates joy and gratitude seamlessly. Life feels abundant, meaningful, and steady, producing a foundation for growth, clarity, and lasting impact. Living fully in God's presence transforms every aspect of life. Clarity, focus, emotional stability, resilience, and gratitude become natural traits, shaping daily decisions and long-term growth. The Holy Spirit works quietly, guiding actions, strengthening character, and fostering intentional living. As you embrace patience, perseverance, and wisdom, ordinary moments gain depth and meaning. Challenges become opportunities, setbacks become lessons, and consistency shapes enduring progress. Life no longer feels chaotic. It flows with purpose and clarity. Your interactions, choices, and mindset are influenced by calm strength, thoughtful reflection, and intentional action. Influence grows not through force, but through steady example and authentic character. Ultimately, living fully in God's presence allows you to experience life with peace, joy, and unwavering confidence. Every day becomes a step toward meaningful growth, lasting stability, and a purposeful future.